To Center for Spiritual Living Greater Boston's live community service. We are here for our Sunday celebration, and it is with joy and light of love that I look forward to sharing this activity with you this morning. So as we come together in celebration, as we continue to respect the health officials around the world and retreat and nurture in place, we are a community of love, peace, joy, health, abundance, and we are conscious spiritual seekers. My name is Rev G, and I, along with Rev Ed Tansey, are the founders and spiritual leaders of this community of light. We come together to learn, study, and practice the philosophy of the science of mind, which is the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought. And this was all synthesized by Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes. And Rev Ed, I will ask you to join us this morning, and I will ask you to read our purpose statement, which I will bring up on the screen momentarily. All right, if you'll go ahead with that, Rev Ed. Oh. There you go.
Okay, thank you for unmuting me. What we give to the world. We awaken individual magnificence, transform thinking, and expand consciousness. What I give to the world. I awaken my individual magnificence, transform my thinking, and expand my consciousness.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rev Ed. And of course, we take that in as our personal, the reason we did the I statement is that we as a community take that in as an activity that we do during the week. So you want to remember to, if you don't have that handy, you can go to our website and you'll be able to see our full list of the purpose statements that we have. That is one of our 4 purpose statements. So thank you so much for that, Ed. And as I mentioned before, you can visit our website at cslboston.org. You will find our full purpose statement, as I mentioned, and you will see that what our community is in the world. And you'll find other things in there that we're doing, different times, different activities. We welcome you to. We welcome also your financial support, which is vital to our community. You can also scan. When I show the different times, you'll see the scan to give is available to you there on the screen. So I look forward to having you support us as we support you. And if this message supports you today, we certainly welcome that. So please join with me as I begin the invocation to set the tone for our day. So take a deep breath in. Become fully present in this now moment. Recognizing and realizing that there is only the one infinite universal source, substance, and creative energy of the universe. This substance, this creative energy, this universal idea in the mind of God that is expressing itself in and as and through everything is expressing itself in and as and through me right here and right now. And it is with joy and gratitude that I claim this day as good and very, very good, knowing that this infinite presence is expressing not only as me, but as each and every one who joins us this morning live, as we provide a message on this most special day, as we move into what some call the Holy Week, or Passover on the 8th. We know that all of these things are wonderful, deep spiritual connections that each one makes. And so as I bless this activity this morning, this Sunday celebration service, I bless each one. I know that there is a a word that needs to be heard, a consciousness that needs to be opened, and an idea that needs to be revealed. And I am grateful in all of this good, as I know that it is revealed into form right here and right now. So in gratitude and joy for the infinite universal good that God is, as it expresses in each one's understanding of God, I gratefully and I joyfully accept this good as done, as fulfilled and complete right here and right now. And I call forth the greatest expression of divine realization in this day. And so gratefully we accept this, joyfully we know it is done, and together we say, and so it is.
It is.
Wonderful. So Rev Ed, if you would be so kind as to share our reading this morning, I would so greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Rev G. Yes, the reading that I selected today happened to be written for today in the Science of Mind magazine for Sunday, April 5th. So I'd like to share that. The title is Open a New Door. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. By Walt Disney. And from Ernest Holmes and the Science of Mind, the divine ideas stand back of all human thought, seeking admittance through the doorway of the mind. That was on page 491 in the Science of Mind text. If you're traveling around Atlanta and come across a tiny door in a public setting, you're likely seeing the art of Karen Anderson Singer. These whimsical 7-inch doors with a unique display in each location are designed to spark the curiosity of passerbys. When asked why she chose doors as the focal point of her art, Singer replies, "Doors are a really great way to quickly access imagination." As of this writing, she has installed 19 doors around Atlanta, each one different as well as symbolic of the neighborhood in which they are placed. One door is located in the hollow of a tree in a park. A tour of the doors is on her website at tinydoorsatl.com. Singer views her doors as public artwork, inviting community and interaction. She regularly maintains the doors by cleaning them with a small toothbrush and touch-up paint. The city of Atlanta recently honored Singer with a key to the city, which was miniature to match her doors. Singer's doors are gentle reminders of the potentiality that we face each day. What's behind that door? What's next for me? What door should I choose? Life is a series of choices, and we tap into our innate wisdom when faced with options. The doors that you face today will lead to new adventures and new people. Celebrate your willingness to open a new door and step into a future that is calling you forward. And the affirmation written for today, I choose to open a new door and embrace the opportunities. And so it is.
Thank you, Rev Ed. And so let's join together in our community song, I'm Choosing Heaven. I will place those lyrics on the screen momentarily. choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Join with me in singing love. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. And beauty, I'm choosing beauty today. I'm choosing beauty today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing beauty today. Let's choose some compassion. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose compassion today. Let's choose abundance. I choose abundance today. I choose abundance today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose abundance today. And life, I'm choosing life today. I'm choosing life today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing life today. And let's have some joy. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today. And heaven, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I've been walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. That was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining in this activity. All right. So we are following the Centers for Spiritual Living's, and that global theme is spiritual vision. And we know that spiritual vision is what we are about and who we are in the world. We further know that our April theme is bright beginnings. So let me share those slides with you this morning. Here is our spiritual vision that we are following for 2020, and here is our bright beginnings. Now, my talk today is actually going to be bright beginnings, and it includes the idea of taking responsibility for self, community, and the world. All right. So that is my desire to share with you today. So I just want to share that, Passover begins on April 8th and goes through April 16th, a celebration and remembrance that is when Jesus rode into Jerusalem to take part in. It is the Jewish commemoration of the liberation of the Jews from Egypt. Just a heads up here, Jesus was a Jew. So now this Sunday is Palm Sunday for the Christian faith, the day Jesus rode the donkey into Jerusalem for his Passover, and when the adoring crowd laid palm fronds before him. As a minister, I have felt this same adulation in my life. Now, of course, as most of you know, and what happened in the week that followed, I have also experienced the same journey in my ministry. Now, Jesus did not look at himself as a victim, and neither do I. Much like when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane prior to his crucifixion, when he said to God, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from my head, yet not as my will, but as thy will." He knew, and I know, that God does not do things for us. God does things through us and as us. That actually God doesn't do things to us, excuse me. That God does things to us, does it for us and through us. Now, I wanted to share something here that that was in the it was in the Daily Word from Unity. I wanted to share this little piece here when we talk about this idea of the spirituality or the spiritual message. Spirituality understood, the entry of Jesus, so spiritually understood, the entry of Jesus into Jerusalem symbolizes the dawning of Christ awareness in the heart of humankind. The crowds shouting Hosanna represent prayers that this dawning Christ awareness be protected and nurtured. So as we go through this and we feel all of these things that are going on, we know that there are so many wonderful things that are happening within us. So as I think of that time when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, it was about enlightenment, enlightenment of following the path. So here in our community, some of us may be celebrating either Passover or Holy Week, depending on the faith traditions we came from. In this community, we radically are inclusive and celebrate all journeys and all paths. So today, as I speak about bright beginnings, I want to look at, number one, finding freedom. And then I want to look at examples of freedom in nature. And then I want to check for our willingness. Let's begin with finding freedom. The story of Passover is about being emancipated. And at the end of the Holy Week, there is the resurrection, again, an emancipation from the limited world of form. In Science of Mind, we have to let go to find freedom from old patterns, limited ideas, and past events. And I want to just share this with you, a quote from Michael Beckwith. And I think that this quote is just so wonderfully apropos. Bear with me just a moment while I bring that slide up. So he says, 100% of all spiritual growth, development, and the unfoldment is about letting go of limited thought forms, ideas, and perceptions that inhibit the flow of life from expressing through us. Now, this is an important thing to understand. So what is he speaking of here? Well, to me, letting go seems like it's the idea of forgiveness. And of course, our core concept 8 for what we follow in our 10 core concepts in our community is forgiveness. And I just want to share what forgiveness means to us as a community. So in the eternal now, there can be no place for divine anger, unforgiveness, or punishment. If we perceive a need for forgiveness, this is a human condition. This human condition is when we are in that place of human forgiveness, it is the process that frees us to live in that eternal now. It is the essential step before real spiritual growth can flourish. I don't know about you, but what I hear is I cannot flourish if I am not free. And until I accept this work of forgiveness, or whatever work it is we have to do to release limited ideas and fearful notions. Why? Because as Michael Beckwith says, it inhibits the flow of life. So it is like cutting off the circulation to a part of our body. We are literally killing ourselves if we stay in unforgiveness. It shows up in the body. We know that in our teaching. Even better, think about all the possibilities that we can allow to come forward in our lives and flow from the divine good and freeing ourselves to receive all of that good. Now let's look at examples in nature of this freedom. So anyone who really knows me knows that I love gardening, and I love my garden. And most especially, I love landscaping and picking colors and types of flowers for the yard. One of my favorites this time of year is the hyacinths. And I love it for the color and the fragrance of the color of the flower, the fragrance of the flower, and what that brings forward. But there's also tulips and daffodils, which many of us see actually starting to come up in our yards right now. Not just your run-of-the-mill bulb plants, however. I love double daffodils and double tulips because they're fuller and more pretty for me. One thing that really came to me recently is that nature is so wonderful. See the buds coming out on the trees right now as life is starting to unfold. So when I go to buy these bulbs for these beautiful flowers, I really have no idea by looking at the bulbs. I have to look at the packaging to see how the flower will look. Because basically, if you look at bulbs, they all kind of look like strange onions. They are not beautiful by any sense. Yet, when we put them in the ground and they sit through a cold winter, they then in spring bring forth a blaze of splendor. You and I are much like these ugly bulbs before they are planted. When we remain in unforgiveness, in a state of unforgiveness, limited thinking, or even fear. But like the bulbs, we must be planted. Now, when I say planted, what I mean is that we need to be planted in our spiritual practices, doing forgiveness work, visioning, spiritual mind treatment, turning from fear to faith. But as Ernest Holmes says, fear is just the opposite of faith. Now, more than ever, we have the opportunity to plant ourselves in spiritual practice so that the amazing beauty and splendor that is the divine good within each of us can come into full bloom. As we steep ourselves in our spiritual practices, we find that the divine splendor was all within us all along. All we have to do was just simply nurture it, love it, encourage it in our lives, and find new ways to reveal more of it, more of the truth. Now, Ernest Holmes says, and let me just share this slide with you. Bear with me just a moment. So Ernest Holmes says this. He says, now suppose there were at the center of the being of each one of us a clear channel to the infinite, which is forever pouring out through us in unique ways, because it never does two things alike, nor does it ever repeat itself. Now, we understand in this teaching that we don't have to suppose that we are a channel to the infinite. We are a channel to the infinite. It is within each of us. I ask you, please reveal this inner splendor of yourself into the world. And remember, it is your splendor. And each one has their individual splendor. And it is not for us to expect others to march to the same drum. The only thing that is left is checking to see if we are willing. And that is my final point this morning. So as we check to see if we're willing, we need to do some things in our lives. Something that helps to keep myself in a state of willingness is knowing that there is a something, maybe the God of my understanding, that wants me to have a wonderful and powerful life. Now, I have this beautiful quote that I want to share with you from the Talmud. And I just think this just so speaks to this wonderful idea that we speak of in this teaching. Every blade of grass has an angel that bends over it and whispers, grow, grow. The divine is speaking to us all the time. And when we steep ourselves in these spiritual practices, we really listen, especially in meditation. If we really listen in that meditation, we each will hear an angel of our own that is saying, grow, grow, grow into the light because you are the light. Grow into the best you can be because you already are the best as a divine expression. Now is the time to find our spiritual freedom in the truth with a capital T. And if you feel like there is no possibility of happiness in a moment, it can be that it can't be found in a dark moment that we may be going through in our lives. We have to remember what Albus Dumbledore said. And let me share that with you. Bear with me just a moment. He said, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Turn on the light. We need to turn on the light in consciousness. And that is the way for us to move forward in this journey that we call life. So will you join me this week in turning on the light for the world? Show the world we are, and they are, the bright beginnings now. Not tomorrow, but today. Namaste. Rev Ed, will you bring us into prayer?
I ask you to close your eyes right now, breathing in all the love of the divine and exhaling all the love of yourselves. Inhale and exhale. And as you do, I ask you to clear your mind of any mind chatter and just be. Sit in that consciousness of being. Just breathe in and breathe out. The purpose of this treatment this morning is that each one has an open consciousness of bright new beginnings. And coming from this purpose, I fully know and believe that there is one presence, one universal mind that is all that there is. This energy, this it goes by many names. The most important thing to remember is its name is not importance, but the presence of existence is. And this energy and this universal mind is in, through, and as everything. It is all that there is. It is the breath that we breathe, the things that we see, the things that we don't see. It is all this universal energy that is good and very, very good. I am one with this, made in its image and likeness. I am whole. I am perfect. I am complete. And as this is my truth, this is the truth of each individual each living thing throughout the universe and places unknown. And I know that as I walk with that consciousness of openness to new bright beginnings, I know that the possibilities are infinitesimal, that the possibilities are there with every bright new beginning for me to choose and pick and taste and enjoy. And by doing this, I know that freedom, personal freedom, is elevated to heights that vibrate beyond our imaginations. And by being open to bright beginnings, to see the freedom in nature all around us as things occur in divine order. And I am so grateful, so grateful for knowing all that I know. I am grateful seeing individuals shining their light, being their highest vibration, as each one daily steps into new beginnings, because each day is a precious moment in time, a precious moment in time and truth for each individual. So I am grateful for all of this. And I release this prayer into the Lord, knowing this is done. And please join me by saying together, if you so choose, and so it is.
Thank you, Rev Ed. That was beautiful. So I'd like to ask us to join together in the affirmation, which I'm going to put up on the screen right now for all of us to follow. Read with me. I experience the freedom to be the voice of love I am called to be. Let's read that one more time together. I experience the freedom to be the voice of love I am called to be. Well, I thank you for joining us this morning. I just want to share our announcements with you this morning. First of all, I want to ask you that if you feel that you have been fed by our message this morning, that you would find it in your heart to give to our community. And you'll see here, I'm offering you this. I will also put this up on the Facebook page after our service today. I will also be asking you to join us in fellowship, which we will do on Zoom. I will put that link into live as well. And then I also want to remind you of the upcoming Love Connection for this week. That's right, the Love Connection this week. And we will be having wonderful Amy Bishop. Now, last week, for those of you who were able to join us, how many people really enjoyed that So Good connection that we had? It was beautiful. We had a large gathering of people that joined us in Zoom and connected on our Thursday night Love Connection. So remember, from 7:30 to 8 o'clock that we will have that Love Connection this next Thursday. And that Zoom link is in our Facebook page. It should be showing up in our newsletter as well. And you just join us in that activity. So I am just so grateful for all of you who have joined us this morning, as I know that it is good and very, very good that this day is a blessing to all. And so what I would like to do is just take a moment to do a benediction to close us out and carry us into the week. So it is in joy and gratitude that I accept the good that has been revealed here today. I gratefully and I joyfully accept and know that there is a good that is revealing itself into form right here and right now. And so in gratitude for all of the good that I know has been revealed, not only for myself, but for each one who's joined us live, each one who joins us later when they watch this by clicking into it later in the day or joins in the archives, that this good, that this divine idea, that this universal good is revealing itself into each life and into a fabulous week. So in gratitude, I accept all of that and know that it is all good and very, very good. So Rev Ed, was there anything you wanted to say before we end our live broadcast today?
I thank you for your message, Rev G, and I am so grateful to all who have tuned in today. And I've tried to, something new for me in the chat room, I've tried when you were speaking and saw things come up, I tried to answer everyone. And if I missed anyone, I apologize. But have a wonderful week, rooted in truth. Bless you all.
Thank you. Join us on the link for Zoom. You may have to refresh your screen in Facebook in order to get that link, but I will be dropping that in there within the next 5 minutes. You have a blessed day, and we will see you in the fellowship.